jealousy can be a big issue for a lot of people. And I think we all experience some kind of jealousy in our lives, whether we're feeling it or, others are feeling it towards us. But I want to open up a little bit about my, I guess, interactions with jealousy. So when I was younger, in about like middle school age, I was in a pre-professional ballet studio. And in this particular studio that I went to, there was like very like clique behavior. And it was like middle school age, so of course, like, I feel like that's when like most of our childhood like social issues come up or whatever. But in this studio, all of the girls were very cliquey, and they all came from like a different area than me, and they all wore really nice clothes, and they would like pick on me and just do all of the mean girl stuff. Like, think of like Mean Girls, the movie. That's how they treated me. And the thing about this studio was that like everyone kind of just like let it happen. And in that moment, I knew, I was like, I was put on this earth just like everybody else. I didn't choose like my parents. I didn't choose how much money I have. I didn't choose these things, right? Like, nobody does. And in the moment, I was just like, okay, well, I'm never ever gonna treat people like this. And I also need to like suck it up. And I would really just like observe them. But I couldn't comprehend when I was younger really how to like hone in on learning from them. I really just hated myself. Like, in the back of my mind, I kept those like thoughts of like, oh, I could be like them, or like I look up to them in certain ways. But I think that inside it gave me like this self-hatred. And then when I got older and I figured all of that out and everything and healing and all of that, I moved to DC, and in the area that I lived in, it was very, very rich people and family money. And long story short, I made friends with all the rich kids, and they taught me a lot. And truly, like, living around those people and all of those like old emotions coming up, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to realize, like, just because people have money doesn't mean they always act the same way. Just because people have different circumstances doesn't mean that your circumstances feel tougher than others. And like, observe and learn. And the people that I met in DC were all very nice to me. They weren't like the people in middle school, obviously, but I could have been jealous and angry and let all of those thoughts come back to me from middle school. But instead, I just told myself, this is where I belong, like, I deserve nice things. I deserve to be in this crowd, I didn't let those old thoughts get to me. So, knowing that I focused on, like, learning from these people and building, right? Turning jealousy interactions with people, or people are mean to you and they have something you want, doesn't mean that everything you want that you don't have is just miserable and da-da-da. No. Focus on the good experience. I just washed away all of those old ones from childhood, and I always focus on the ones from when I lived in DC, because everything is a feeling, everything is a vibe. All you have to do is change your brain. So, giving an example on this is like, okay, you are jealous of this person because they have this nice car. Let's just say that. This feeling of jealousy comes up instead of self-hatred, instead of anger, instead of resentment, instead of all of those terrible things. All you have to do is say, how can I be them? How can I get that? How can I act like that? How can I be their friend? How can I make this situation happen for myself, right? So if it were the car, you could say, okay, how could I get that car? Let me ask them where they got that car. Let me be friends with them, because I'm sure they know a lot about the steps on getting that car. Be friends with the person that you want to be. Don't hate them, be them. All you have to do is be friends with the people. Ask them questions, right? Like, it seems so simple because it really is, but we let our egos get in the way, because you might see somebody you're jealous of, and in the back of your head you're like, F them, because you think that they're better than you in some weird way, but most of the time they're not gonna pick on you, okay? Because we're all adults now. So just realize it's your ego, and realize they're not gonna be rude to you, and they'll probably be your friend, and they'll probably tell you how they got that thing. And if you take that feeling of jealousy and you turn it into inspiration, you will get what you want. You will become what you want to become. Don't let your ego ruin it for you. Don't let your ego ruin it for you, because your ego is telling you not to ask them how to do it, not to be their friend, not to be on their level, because it's something that you're scared of, because it's different, or something that you're trying to convince yourself you can't do. But that's just not the truth. Just ask them how they did it, or become their friend, or be inspired. So, another thing, I wrote down some things so I don't forget. Another thing is compares. Comparing. Another big thing that gets in the way is comparing. Comparing will bring a lot of jealousy, but let me tell you something really, really funny. You don't need to compare, because comparing actually messes you up. Comparing will literally ruin everything you've ever done. It will ruin your path. It will is an unlimited abundance of everything. You are okay to ask for help, to ask for guidance, to ask, hey, how'd you do that? I want to do that. And it's okay to help others too. There is an unlimited amount of resources out there. So don't get stuck in that lack mentality, in that limiting mindset, because really, like, it isn't a competition, okay? Like, there isn't one flag and we're all like racing to the finish and like all trying to grab it. Like, that's not how life works. So just drop the lack, drop the limiting beliefs, and know that if you also want this dream or you want this thing, that there is this end goal, this dream, this thing waiting there for you already in that reality. And last thing, just real quick, is the knowledge that you are good enough. You are good enough to have whatever you want, and just because you don't have it right now doesn't mean that you weren't good enough to have it or be it. We're all dealt different cards. We're all born with different hand of cards that were dealt, but you can always change your luck and change things around and change your situation and circumstances. So knowing that you're good enough to speak, to ask questions, to become friends with people who are maybe somewhere else you'd rather be. Honestly, for me, I rather have friends that I look up to. If I have friends that I'm like the best one in the group, that's like a huge red flag for me. I don't want to be around people who aren't achieving their goals. I want to be around people that I look up to, that inspire me, and you are good enough to be around people who make you feel that way. Surrounding yourself with the right kind of people and asking them questions is literally how you get everything that you want. Being in a lack mindset, being jealous, talking crap about that person, that's not going to get you there. So you can either get over it or you can become it. So don't let limiting beliefs, jealousy, or insecurities stop you from being your best self, asking questions, and making good friends who maybe are doing something that you want to learn how to do. It's okay. Have the confidence, have the courage, have the strength. You're worthy to have it all, and it's really, really not that hard. Life is super easy. All you have to do is allow it to be. So that is that on jealousy. I hope that my tips helped you on how to turn that jealousy into inspiration, and know that it's okay to feel jealousy. Life would be weird without it. Jealousy is like a signal going off in your brain saying, hey, that's the path that's right for you. That's the one that you deserve to be in. You can have that too. It's a sign saying, hey, in another realm, you've done this, so do you want it? You can have it too. And if you have any old memories from childhood, bullies like happened to me, feel free now to let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Because you're worthy of it. Don't let those bullies from forever ago keep you small. Don't give them what they want. Don't let the losers that peaked in high school ruin you. praise yourself is good enough. Every moment we're a new moment. So next time jealousy comes up, feel that feeling of inspiration and see your life change for the better. Breathe deeply. Releasing all negativity. Letting go. Knowing you're worthy.